Even if you've done everything right, you've saved consistently, you've maxed out your accounts, you've followed the advice, you could still be making costly mistakes even without realizing it. In today's video, I'm going to show you the most common retirement mistakes that people over 55 are making according to Vanguard's latest data. Now, before I continue, if you're someone who is debating retirement or has buried their head in the sand out of fear of making a mistake, well, this video is for you because I'm going to show you what the data quietly reveals, why these mistakes hit hardest in your final working years, and most importantly, how a few smart shifts can still transform your retirement outlook. So let's start with one of the most surprising findings from Vanguard's data. 14% of people between the ages of 55 and 64 aren't contributing anything to their 401ks, nothing. So even more shocking, this isn't just a lower income issue. About 5% of folks earning over $150,000 a year are also sitting it out entirely. Vanguard found that automatic enrollment dramatically boosts participation, but if you're not in a plan that offers it, or if you've opted out years ago, you may not fully participate in some of the benefits that you could be missing out on. And at this stage in your career, those missed contributions, they're not just unfortunate, they can make a big difference in the outcome of your retirement. Now, why does this hit so hard for people in their late 50s and early 60s? Because you don't have as much time to let compounding do its work. Every missed dollar has got less time to compound for you. And it's not just your money that you're missing. Employer matches are essentially free money. And when you don't contribute, you lose that forever. And if you add to that the extra $7,500 that you're allowed to contribute each year after you turn 50, those catch-up contributions that could make a real difference. And most people, they're just not taking advantage of them. So when you add it all up, these missed opportunities can easily snowball into having 6 figures worth of fewer dollars to enjoy during your retirement years. And the thing that we all know about time is that once those years are gone, there's no getting them back. Now, while the participation gap is a major issue, it's not the only one worth paying attention to. Vanguard's data also uncovered another subtle but costly problem that's catching many pre-retirees off guard, and it has to do with how target date funds are being used. According to Vanguard, the use of target date funds has skyrocketed from 41% of participants in 2014 to 64% in 2023. And while they're marketed as a convenient, hands-off option, there's a hidden cost that most people miss. You see, these funds often come layered with fees. Now, on the low end, Vanguard offers a 0.08% internal cost, but Morningstar reports that the average expense ratio is about 0.32%, which doesn't sound like much, but on $1 million portfolio, that's $3,200 a year gone every year. And that adds up fast, especially when you consider how those lost dollars could have been compounding. And over time, it means tens of thousands of dollars missing from your retirement income simply because you were paying for simplicity without realizing the price tag of it. And this becomes a real problem for pre-retirees because it's happening at the worst possible time when your portfolio is likely at its peak. Most people, they're not aware that they're paying the highest fees when there's the most money at stake. And here's the kicker. Many of these target date funds, they're just slicing your money into 4 basic ETFs: US stocks, international stocks, bonds, and cash. You could easily replicate that same mix yourself using lower cost ETFs, and you'd skip that extra layer of fees entirely. Now, keep in mind that your ability to do this is going to be subject to your 401k providing access to those lower cost ETFs as an option. And that's a case-by-case thing depending upon how your plan administrator set the 401k up. So if it's an option, that small shift alone can translate into immediate savings and, more importantly, more of your money staying invested and working for you as your retirement gets closer. So yes, target date funds can quietly eat away at your savings, but what Vanguard uncovered about how people are allocating their money poses an even bigger challenge to the long-term retirement security of a lot of people. You see, Vanguard's data shows a lot of pre-retirees are making 2 big allocation mistakes. And this is something that I can confirm is happening because we see this with many of the people that we meet with. So first, Many are holding way too much cash inside of their retirement accounts, thinking that it's safe, but in reality, that cash is just losing value to inflation year after year. And then secondly, some are heavily invested in their own company's stock, which creates a risky situation where your job and your investments are tied to the same outcome. The odds of anyone's stock, including your company stock, underperforming the broad market is pretty high. And it's not something that you want to bet too much of your portfolio on. And I know as I say this, I'm going to get some comments, people telling me how amazing your company stock has been. And hey, that's great. But when that happens, that's an exception to the rule. So these two things are kind of like a double hit waiting to happen because, both of these moves are working against that core principle of diversification and growth. And in the final stretch before retirement, when your portfolio needs to be working its hardest for you, making these mistakes can quietly hold you back from building the security that's probably going to be what's best for you. So for those over 55, these allocation missteps can be especially damaging. Holding too much cash means inflation is chipping away quietly at your future, so you won't have as much spending power. And if you're overweight in your company's stock, you're not just betting your paycheck, you're also trying to tie your retirement to the fate of your employer. If the company hits a rough patch, that's a double blow. The closer you get to retirement, the more important smart asset allocation becomes. And the good news is, correcting these mistakes, shifting towards a more balanced mix can lead to immediate improvements both for your growth potential and your overall retirement security. Now, if these mistakes sound a little bit too familiar, don't worry, you're not alone. I've put together a free training that walks you through exactly how we go about fixing them and setting up a more secure retirement plan. So be sure to check out the link in the description if you want to see that. One of the clearest wins from the Vanguard research has to do with automation. So retirement plans that use automatic enrollment see significantly higher participation across the board, regardless of age or income. And it doesn't stop there. When contributions automatically increase over time, it helps people to overcome that natural tendency to delay or second guess their decision. It basically removes that argument and debate that we're having with ourselves about whether we should save more this year or not. On top of that, systematic investing takes the emotion out of the process, especially during market swings. So you're not making reactive decisions. Instead, automation creates that steady, consistent progress that's required for successful investing. I think that automation is a game changer, and I've seen it firsthand. Some of the strongest portfolios that we reviewed weren't built through flashy strategies, but really just through the simple 401k automation. That consistent catch-up contribution is being made has done a lot of good for a lot of people. So now we talked about the biggest mistakes that people are making after 55. Let's shift gears for a minute and let's talk about how you can start to apply these insights to your own retirement. So here's the bottom line. If you're over 55 and you want to get your retirement savings on track, start by maximizing your contributions, especially if you're eligible for catch-up. Keep your investments simple. So use those low-cost ETFs or low-cost funds if you don't have ETFs so you can avoid those unnecessary fees. And then you want to build a balanced allocation that really reflects your goals and your risk tolerance, not just what feels safe in the moment, but really is a part of your entire big picture long-term plan. And the most important thing is to automate it. Set your contributions to run on autopilot and schedule automatic increases each year. In fact, that's the one habit alone that can make the biggest difference over time. And don't forget, if you have company stock, don't overconcentrate in it. Steering clear of concentrated company stock and excess cash keeps your portfolio better positioned and it reduces risk. And just as important, scheduling regular reviews of your retirement plan can help you to stay on track and adjust as things change. Now, when all of this is working together, your savings plan moves from feeling uncertain to feeling systematic, like something that you can actually count on. So now that you've seen the most common mistakes people over 55 are making with their retirement savings and what the data actually says, you've got a chance to course correct while there's still time. And if you want to take the next step, we've put together a free training that walks you through how to optimize your retirement strategy in these final working years. So just click the link in the description. We'll show you the exact process that we use to help people to strengthen their retirement plans while the time is short and the stakes are so high. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.